go. We are gonna get our full-blown acceleration here. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Ram 2500 Tradesman. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this truck. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood we have the 6.7 liter Cummins that goes through a 6-speed automatic known as the 68 RFE. Power outputs are 370 horsepower and then 850 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the 2500. So first off, this one has the cab lights there at the top. We've got our 2500 heavy duty badge there onto the side. We've got the halogen bulbs here with the orange lighting just down below. No fog lights or anything like that. Chrome bumper. We do have the tow hooks right there on the front end. And then notice how the front grille is blacked out. We do have the chrome for the Ram logo. And yeah, other than that, that is everything for the front end. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 75mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see they went for a chrome design there on the wheel itself. And then here is the front suspension right there. And then again, you guys can see we've got a Cummins badge here on the side. We've got the Ram logo. This one has the trailer mirrors. Notice that the door handles match the mirror with that black plastic. And then here's your full side view on the truck. And just give you guys kind of like an idea of height. So here's another another heavy duty. Yeah, it's 2500. So you can see that right next to a half-ton, just to give you guys kind of like a height difference, right? And then you guys can see like Power Wagon. You can kind of see how it like goes up in height. But anyways, that's all for that. And then let's pop here into the rear so you guys can see the suspension. So this one has the coil suspension since it's a 2500, and that's all for that. So here's our key fob for the Ram. You got the Ram logo there on the back, the unlock, and then the lock. We have a payload capacity of 2,380 pounds. You do, the bed's kind of like slightly slow lowering, so you guys can see it kind of like dampens a little bit, but I recommend just hold it with your hand. But yeah, pretty capable from a payload perspective here with the rear of the truck. Now moving on from that, you guys will notice that we do have an outlet here on the bed. This doesn't have a bed liner yet or anything like that. And then we do have the cargo light there at the very top. And then lifting up the tailgate, it's actually pretty light and easy to get into place. And then you guys can see the taillights on for a second there in the rear. This one has the base model taillights. Again, it's a Tradesman. It's kind of what you expect. Chrome bumper here in the rear. You've got the receiver hitch just down below. We've got the 4x4 badge. If you guys are wondering from a towing capacity perspective, it's like 17,000 pounds roughly, right around that range. And it's all for the bed and back area. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see pretty basic from a material standpoint. You do have the window control right there. And then here are the seats in the back. So you've got the nice cloth seats. Same seats as what you get in like a Bighorn, for example. So they're really nice, soft to the touch. And then we got the vents just down below. We've got the storage space underneath the seats as well. And it's a crew cab. So yeah, Now here's a door panel at the front, so you can see again pretty basic material wise. You've got all of your window controls here. They are automatic for the front windows, your mirror adjustments. This does again have the trailer mirrors that pop up. And then here is the seat at the front. So again, you can see same cloth as what you have in the rear. Feels really nice. They're very comfortable to sit in. They are manually adjustable. And then here are the pedals just down below. We have this for the cargo outlet, and then you've got the light control here with the cargo light. You've got the adjustment for the steering wheel, which is manual, and there's where I'm gonna look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel in the Tradesman, pretty basic with the materials here on the top and the bottom. And then notice you actually have the perforations here on the side, so you get a pretty good grip. We got the cruise control here, the gear limiter, controls to the center stack, voice command controls. There are no radio controls there on the back, just empty holes. And then you got your windshield wipers / turn signal stock. We have the column shifter, and that's all for that. Now here is the center stack. So notice you have analog gauges right there for like the RPMs, for example, and then also for the speed. And then we do have the screen which you can scroll through a few different menus to get different bits of information on the truck itself. And other than that, that's all for the gauge cluster. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. Well, reverse, not neutral. I accidentally popped it in neutral the first time. You have the backup camera with the trajectory lines right there. We've got a couple of power wagons there in the viewpoint, which is pretty cool. Resolution's great. Now, moving on from that to the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time with the screen itself when you actually press it is pretty good. It does take some of the screens a second to load up, but it's pretty quick overall response time. Now, from a climate standpoint, this actually has a dual zone climate, which is pretty surprising. It's something that you wouldn't expect in a baseline truck, but it's got it. And then also it's got navigation as well, so it's pretty cool that it has that optioned out. And that's all for that. Analog controls here for the radio. We've got your stability control and then the hazard light button. We've got our dual zone climate controls just down below. We've got our tow haul mode, diesel exhaust brake, got the trailer brakes integrated right there. And notice how this is all missing. You guys will understand in a second. Got a bunch of USBs right here, and then you've got a storage cubby right here. It's kind of hard to see down there. Got a full power outlet. Got the cup holders right here at the center console slash bench seat, which you can pull up. There is no under seat storage. Now this is where the shifter is. It has the on the floor shifter. So if you prefer this, well, you can get it in the Tradesman. So notice it still has the 4-wheel low, the 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and then the neutral. Again, it's just on the floor versus the buttons that you press. We have the top storage here for the glove box, and then we have the bottom storage. And then notice again, pretty basic from a material standpoint. We have just a regular mirror, and then this does have a power setting window, so that's definitely a nice thing to have. And then darker colored headliner. So here's our window sticker on the Tradesman. Feel free to freeze a frame if you want to read all of the standard equipment with the truck, and then the options as well. You can see total MSRP $60,220, and wait for it. Wait a little bit longer. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's your visibility of the hood, which by the way, will clean the window a little bit there. And then there's your visibility through both the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So we are setting off here in this 2500. And first off, let's get up and moving and talk about the road noise and the ride quality and all that. This has been a fun heavy duty Ram day. I drove a Power Wagon first, then a 3500 Mega Cab, and now we're driving a 2500 diesel crew cab. Ride quality, you can definitely feel the difference between the 2500 and the 3500. Let me tell you, this is so much smoother, so much more compliant over bumps. Yeah, it's a night and day difference. It really is. So yeah, if you want smooth ride quality, 2500 is the route to go. So it's like the difference between like a luxury car pretty much and a non-luxury car. It's pretty big. Aside from the ride quality with it, noise is relatively minimal. You hear quite a bit from the Cummins. That's a good noise. Tire noise, it's pretty much non-existent. The Cummins is so loud that you don't really hear any tire noise, so I guess it's a positive. Wind noise is pretty minimal as well, so it's pretty well insulated cabin. These seats are really comfortable. The one thing I want to mention is this truck, the new truck smell is kind of like Home Depot is what it reminds me of. I don't know why, I don't know how, but you know what? Yeah, it just has that smell. So if you love Home Depot, like I love Home Depot, then buy a new Ram 2500 Tradesman, and you can bring the smell of Home Depot with you to your house. So we are gonna get our full-blown acceleration here. So I just drove, again, a truck with the Ison right before this, so I can actually perceive the difference. You do feel a torque difference. There's definitely like, yeah, you can definitely feel a difference. This doesn't feel as punchy, but they almost get up to speed about the same rate. But yeah, this doesn't feel as punchy as the Ison. I mean, there's a big torque difference, right? 200 plus pound-feet, but yeah, it's interesting. Like the accelerate, like the actual like speed is almost the same, but it definitely feels different from the seat of both the trucks. But let's get into setting things up with this Tradesman and decide if you should get a base model Cummins. First off, exterior-wise, I mean, it just looks like a pretty basic truck with some chrome, and you know, it's a pretty good looking truck if you ask me. It just looks like a heavy duty truck. And then interior wise, the seats are amazing. That's the high point of this interior, but it's got all the good stuff you need, right? It's got the infotainment system, it's got a backup camera. I mean, like I said, it's pretty much got everything that you need from an interior perspective. And then aside from that, and it's perfect, this person's moving slow because that means that I get to leisurely come onto the lot. Driving wise, drives great. It's smooth with the with the coil suspension, and the 68 RFE is a pretty smooth transmission as well. So it's really good from that perspective. And then yeah, power's great. And yeah, $60,000. Yeah, it's, you know what? It's a far cry from the $86,000 mega cab I just drove. So again, I guess if you are you know, wanting things a little bit more reasonable from a price point perspective, you still want the towing capacity, you still want the Cummins and everything, it's great. And this truck would be a great daily driver. It's got tons of charging ports, it's got dual zone climate, it has everything you need from a modern tech standpoint. And so this truck really does have everything you need and nothing that you don't. Now that's gonna sum things up for a video on this 2022 Ram 2500 Tradesman. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this truck. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.